Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got some special guests in the building.
That's right.
You might know him from FAMU. That's all I know. This
Come
guy
on, that's all you need to know.
He's never not working.
Come on, start off with my #1 accolade, Florida A&M University, the best HBCU ever. Just get that out of the way.
My brother Will Packer.
What's up,
Welcome
family?
back. We also
Appreciate
have
you having me.
Julissa from Queens.
Hey!
You don't know, we were actually in acting school with each other, acting class.
Yes.
Oh.
It didn't pop up. It didn't pop up for Emmy, but for Julissa, it's going well.
Was he any good, Julissa?
What's that?
Was he any good?
From what I remember, he was, very in the moment.
That means she doesn't remember much.
That's a good political answer.
Remember much.
That's right. And Sanya Richards-Ross.
Yeah.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Now you have a new show called Central Ave. Tell us about Central Ave.
Yo, we doing something different, family. We doing something different. So it's a lot of news magazine shows out there, right? Here's the deal. They all been out there forever. It's pretty much the same thing, the same format, the same host. Listen, no hate, but we about to do it better. That's the real. So, couple interesting things. First off, it's the first time you've ever had two women of color hosting an entertainment magazine show, right? So that's cool. That makes us totally different. We're set in Atlanta. That's different. And the way we're going to attack these stories, it's like a little mix of Entertainment Tonight, Access Hollywood, and Inside Edition. Like we're going into the stories and going deeper. So this is a way for us to do. And y'all know I've told y'all this. I love the way that you guys represent the culture. I say it in front of you. I say it when I'm not up here. That is something you do well. This is something that we're going to do in that kind of prime time, 6, 7, 8 o'clock slot. We're going to do it. We're going to represent the culture. Still cover pop culture
Bringing the
topics.
culture into pop culture.
There you go. That's what it is. I want to get two hosts, amazing hosts. I got two winners with me who are fresh voices and fresh perspectives.
Why Sanya Richards-Ross? Like, what was the shit? Because you from athletics to athletic field.
Right, yeah.
And now to be an entertainment reporter.
Yeah.
How was that
And
shit
you
for
also
you?
had a reality show.
Yeah, I did. I mean, for me, first of all, when you get a call from Will Packer, you run faster than you do on the track, right?
She's with
You're really pretty fast.
That's pretty fast.
And I've always
Going.
loved pop culture. I love you guys' show because I think a lot of times we read social media and we get like a little bit of the story, but we tune into shows like this to learn more. And that's what Central Ave is going to do. It's going to tell a deeper story. And I think I bring a fresh perspective, right? A lot of people have been in this business for a long time. They're kind of jaded, and I'm not. Like when I sit in those rooms with Monique Chanot, our showrunner, and Julissa and all these people, I'm asking questions that nobody's asking.
Yeah.
You know, I have a perspective that no one has, so I think that makes our show different.
And
too.
more like a perspective from the viewer that maybe just works a day-to-day job that doesn't get more than just the headline. We're going to bring you more than that. There's a lot of investigative aspect to our show.
Not
How do you
being
handle the
biased
stories?
because you don't have like relationships or you don't, right?
Yeah.
But I also feel like you bring something to the table as far as in the world of sports too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
NFL, track,
absolutely.
everything.
And I feel like entertainment has been a
Family.
huge part of pop culture these days, right? We're tuning in to see what LeBron James is saying and all these athletes. And so I definitely understand their perspective. I understand why they do interviews the way they do and how sports is changing and shifting culture. So absolutely excited to bring that perspective as well.
So how do
See,
you
I
handle a
just
story
fly
like
anyway.
Kanye West just released the album?
Yeah.
Right? How do y'all do this story? Kanye, now, how do you go?
Good question.
Good question.
You said that.
Knowing that
because
the album is named after Jesus now.
Listen, when
But-
we premiere November 4th,
Yeah.
we are kicking it off with an amazing investigative, journalistic, pop culture, in-depth story with
Talk about it.
talking about Kanye
Yeah.
West.
Yeah.
It might even be a two-parter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Asking for a friend, maybe her. I don't know. But yeah, we are going there. I was actually at the red carpet. I saw Charlamagne from a distance, Tyler Perry Studios, because we are shooting in Atlanta.
Charlamagne was clean too.
Yeah, he was.
My guy was clean.
I tried.
Wipe down.
He had to keep going because somebody was a little tardy, I think, and you had to.
Yeah, they kept pulling me. I don't know why.
Yeah,
like
they
I'm
were
somebody.
pulling, and I'm like, come on. But we were able to, and I was able to catch up with a lot of influential gospel artists and artists that have been in that world for a long time, and I got a chance to ask them about Kanye's transition into where he is now, and you guys will see again a much more in-depth investigative sort of inner scope kind of
because like you said, other
Story.
people may cover, all right, Kanye dropped a gospel album, what's the reaction to it, right? But like Julissa's alluding to, so we'll go in and we'll actually talk to gospel folks and the black church, okay? Black church has been around forever.
Right.
That has always been the institution that has lifted up gospel music and allowed it to go mainstream. So when you have a big pop artist like that steps into the gospel realm, is it exploitation? Is it somebody that has found his voice, his spiritual voice,
And then
who's
his
been
support of
delivered?
Donald Trump, I'm sure, is something
I
that's
You have
alarming
to
for us.
discuss that.
Yeah.
We can go there in a way that you're just not going to see on some other shows.
I think it's a slippery slope with Kanye though. Because whenever you're an artist, like your life is your commodity.
Yeah.
So whatever you're going through in that moment, you
Yeah.
will essentially be selling, even if it
Absolutely.
is God.
Right.
I asked other artists that were at the Tyler Perry opening, as well as Kirk Franklin, T.D. Jakes. I mean, I got a chance to ask other artists that are not in the church world and do pop music and rap music and what their thoughts were. So you guys will get to see some of that. I mean, you're just going to see the stories being told different than you've seen on any other entertainment show, beyond the headlines. And we're allowing you to formulate your opinion once we give you all the information, because
Right.
nowadays it seems like people will just have an opinion straight off the headlines, but
Right.
if we give you
10-second judgment.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah, and we have people that we're bringing in experts. So we'll talk to pastors and we'll talk to people who have a perspective on Kanye. And like Julissa says, when we're done with the story, we're not going to be giving you our opinion. We want you to formulate your own opinion. So I think that
Okay,
makes
it's
a difference
subjective.
as well.
Now I
Yes.
have a question, because I just wanted to know this. I was wondering this about the whole Kanye thing with his merchandise, right? I know when it comes to the church, you don't have to pay taxes on things that are registered, like, Sunday service, church merchandise. So do y'all know, or did you find out, is that something that he doesn't have to pay taxes on?
Angela, you're gonna have to tune in. If we give you guys the tea
I'm
on all
just
that
curious.
now.
He's saying it's
But-
a money play.
yeah.
He's saying he's
I'm
trying to
just
get that
wondering.
501c3
What if you give
religious
10% to the
exempt.
church?
Yeah.
Was
if
that,
you
does
give
that make it
10%?
okay? Is
It's
that what you're
ties.
saying?
I'm just curious.
Listen,
I'm
that's a good
not
tease,
passing
though. That's a good tease.
judgment.
You're gonna have to find that.
No,
in the
because
before
we
the
go
trailer.
there.
And
we go there. We
other
go there.
franchise stories,
Yeah.
like Paper Chase, and you're gonna see stories that have to do with monetary things. When it comes to celebrities, we'll have other franchise stories. I mean, one of them is cancel culture, which you guys will
That goes
talk
hand
about
in
that
hand
a lot.
with this.
Yeah.
I know
Absolutely.
you guys
Yeah.
talk
Do you
about
Do you
it all
separate the
time.
message from the messenger?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is it who's saying it that really affects the value of what's being said? We also talk about the opioid crisis,
Yeah.
right? How is that being portrayed in the media very, very differently from
And
the
in
crack
rap songs.
epidemic?
Oh,
Yeah.
I have
You know what
a
I'm
great
saying?
topic.
Well, we know why. Because
Come
white
on.
people are on opioids.
Oh,
I have a
wow.
great topic, and I would love for y'all to cover this, right? When is it time to shave it bald and just let the hairline pop? I think
good
that
one.
would be a great topic.
That's a good one.
Because,
We've talked a lot
people
about
hold
hair,
on.
and we think a lot about hair from the perspective of women, right? But
Yes.
we forget to think about men and when they should let it go too. It's a good topic.
Charlamagne and I don't have a problem with that. We understand.
She's shooting at me because
No, it wasn't.
I'm letting my hair grow back.
Listen.
and they think
I
it's
didn't even
club,
say
but it's
anything
my
about
real
you.
hair.
Listen, your hairline looks good to
It's
me
my
from
real shit.
across
I
the
didn't even
desk.
say, I didn't say
It's
nothing
nice and
about
shaped
him.
up.
I
She didn't
didn't
say anything about you.
I didn't
I'm
get
just saying
close
in
to
general.
envy. I don't know if he's
Will,
LeBron. What?
Will, you've been in a lot of hair and makeup rooms. You know that's not real.
This is
bro.
real. You can pull. This is my real.
Because you know what? From the
Listen.
perspective of the man, right? Men are always doing things trying to hold on to their hairline, the Beijing.
It's
the
my
spray,
real hair.
the plugs, the hair transplants, and all of that.
We
And I
do.
don't feel like we've explored that
Oh my
enough.
goodness. Now, what about a story if it's one of your friends? You
Yeah.
work with a lot of people in Hollywood. There's sometimes scandals. What now? What do you do? How do you?
We're calling them 1st. Well, he is.
Well, I mean, listen.
Will wants to know.
Let's say Tiffany
Exactly.
Haddish. Let's say a story breaks about Tiffany Haddish.
That's
That's
we would
definitely
have,
gonna happen.
We would have
We're
access
covering
to
it.
my girl that the other folks wouldn't have, and so she would be much more likely to be open and honest about her perspective and her side of whatever the story is with us than
Right.
she would be with some other show. That's the reality, and it doesn't mean that we don't tell both sides of it,
Absolutely.
but we're definitely going to make sure with the relationships we got within the industry that we get their side of it.
Yeah, we can get people like Cardi B and she won't go off on you after you've just used a portion of the
Clickbait.
interview
Yeah.
for clickbait,
Yeah.
not to throw
Correct.
shade to any
Yeah.
other
So this is like an alternative to
show out there, but just
TMZ
say.
to Dish Nation. I don't know. What am I? What?
Yeah, no, I would say more in the Entertainment Tonight Access Hollywood kind of
Got
vein.
you, got
yeah,
you,
more
got
like
you.
we got correspondents that are going to be out, on red carpets, and we will do stories literally from all over the world. So we got a little budget. You know what I'm saying? We got Fox backing us, so
Yes.
we're doing a run on select Fox stations starting on November 4th. And we'll see how it goes. But we're in, major markets from, of course, New York, LA, Atlanta, Houston,
Fox 5
DC.
here in New York, 7:30 p.m.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is every night at 7:30.
If it
Yeah,
gets picked
well,
up,
in New York, but you got to check your,
When we
y'all
get
are
picked
worldwide.
up.
when
so.
you get picked
When we
up,
get picked
there's
up.
a young man named Van Lathan. I think
Yes,
would be
yes.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
a good asset to the
Yeah.
show.
Think Van not on my radar, brother?
Okay,
I
just
like
making
what that
sure.
brother
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So do we.
Van,
Yeah.
keep your phone on, Van. We coming at you.
Word.
Yeah.
But what I think is
Absolutely.
amazing is to just see y'all, right? Because I'd rather watch you guys report stories than a network that is, I mean, no offense to anybody, but not women of color, you know, Black women, Hispanic women reporting on things from our community.
Yeah.
And I think that's been an issue a lot.
Yeah.
Just the way that media can slant things and portray things, and especially women, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that happen with women in the
Yes.
media that I would love to see our perspective more represented.
Absolutely.
in
And I
that
think
way.
that's what Will Packer saw when he wanted to create this show, is that there is a void in entertainment news and the entertainment news magazine space where we're not hearing our stories told authentically. And what makes our show so great is that it's not that we're only diverse in front of the camera, we're super diverse behind the camera.
Yeah,
Our
like our
showrunner-
production meetings are it's like a New York City subway.
Like, you're not
and
going to
our-
tell us that Kylie Jenner invented cornrows. Or
Exactly,
nothing,
that's not
right?
happening on Central Live. That's not happening on our
Kylie
show.
didn't invent
Definitely
cornrows.
won't.
I was saying Monique Chanel, who's our showrunner, was the first African-American person, male or female, to be a showrunner on an entertainment news show when she did Entertainment Tonight. So she comes from such a great background, and our room, like Julissa said, is filled with all different races, all different kinds of people. So I think it also informs how we tell stories, and when you see the story, you should feel like, wow, like that's a perspective I get and understand, and we want it to be holistic and inclusive. So I'm so
And
excited
it's the
about
first
it.
time that a show like this has ever been produced and ever been put on in Atlanta. So that's going to be, most of these entertainment news shows are out of LA or New York. So that already is just going to make it different. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, Atlanta
There's
got
so
a
much
different
going
kind of
on in
scene.
Atlanta.
Flame,
that's
everybody
right.
shooting
It's kind
there.
of like
Yeah.
the Hollywood of the South. So we are there, and we're just so excited to.
Yeah.
Were your friends before this happened? Did you guys?
No, we became friends at the audition. Actually.
Yeah, we met at the audition.
So it's crazy
and
that we booked it.
Yeah, and we instantly knew we had a chemistry, so we hope that they saw it too. And we've been doing this for over a year, like the process of being on the audition and doing the test run, and we kept in touch. You know, we thought it was important for us to start to build a rapport, and
Yeah.
we've been in Atlanta together for 2 weeks, and we've been like just kicking it. So we're excited to.
Charlamagne knows we did a movie together. You shoot something and it don't come out till like a year
You're
later.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, boys and girls, this has been in the works over a year.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
we got up on the Breakfast Club,
Yeah.
we were in the lab putting it together. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
love my millennial generation, but they want everything to happen immediately.
Yeah.
Everything to happen right now.
That's the problem with press releases, though.
You
You see a
out
press
and-
release in
and-
January, but it might not come out till next year.
That's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How
Y'all got
far
into
in
your big
advance
argument
do
yet? Have y'all got into that big argument yet?
We haven't had
No,
a big
not
I
yet.
can't
argument.
even see that happening. I know, Julissa, you not. I
No,
can't even,
I'm pretty easy. I'm a Libra. You know,
Yeah.
we go with the flow. But I also have 3 older brothers, so I don't have any sisters. So every time I meet a girl that's also like girl power,
Yes.
I just automatically attach. So
Yeah.
she's been, and she's an athlete and has kept me on my toes.
Good.
Like,
Right?
I mean, I have to
Does she
do
have you doing
amazing.
1,000 push-ups?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
1,000 sit-ups.
Yes.
You still
I
do
would-
1,000 sit-ups a day?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I'm a mom now, so I'm like,
No, I don't.
I don't. It's so funny because sometimes I reflect on that time in my life. I was like, oh my God, like I used to do 1,000 sit-ups every day. I used to go to bed on time and drink water and all that stuff. But for me, it was all day.
You don't do
Now
none
I
of
got
that
her
no
doing
more, huh?
shots.
No, I still don't drink. But it's so funny how when you're so focused on a goal, you don't even think about the process. You know, it's like it was all about winning gold medals for me, and that was kind of what I needed to do to get there. And sometimes when people remind me, I'm like, oh my God, like.
But
it
that's
just-
what I'm saying. Like to have,
blows
she
my
has a
mind.
team
Right.
mentality,
Yeah.
go team mentality, which is
That's
why I
great.
think it works.
Yeah,
and
like we
get
had a
along.
talk, and I was like, look, Jules, like, you know, and this for us is, we're so excited to be on this project. We're not going to let anything get in our way. You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to win together, and we're not going to let any pettiness or any undertones. It's going to be all love, and we're going to be positive because we want to serve a great show.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we know that starts with us
That
being
chemistry
great.
helps when
Yeah.
you have it off camera too.
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
You know what I would have loved to hear your perspective on when that whole thing happened, when they were talking about these, Olympic track women and how it was when you get pregnant and then you lose all your endorsements for
Yeah.
that period of time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
not make
Yeah,
any
yeah,
money.
yeah.
Like things like that. I think you
Absolutely.
bring to the table, Julissa. Obviously, you have an extensive background as far as music and
Still here.
yes, still
Thank
here.
Thank
so,
you all.
what are you listening to now?
I listen to a lot of reggaeton. I was just actually listening to Kanye's new album. See, it's so tough. If you're a true Kanye fan, I think sometimes it's really tough to differentiate Kanye as an artist and Kanye doing other things because at the end of the day, at the core, I still love him as an artist.
I think the worst part of that album is Kanye West. I think the production is great. I think the songs
production
are
is
great.
fantastic.
But I think he should have opened it up to other artists. Like
Yeah.
he don't sound right on these records for some reason.
Yeah, I mean there are some that are more my favorites than others, and then he does get weird with just the way he's using his voice. But you're absolutely right, the production on it. I would have loved to have heard him collaborate with other artists a lot more on the album because of the production is so great. But yeah, I mean I listen to a little bit of everything. I love Afro beats and I guess because I'm Latina and I first started hosting, it was a reggaeton show, so that's still in my blood.
So now y'all hanging out like sisters. Have you tried Dominican food and have you tried Jamaican food yet?
I haven't had any Dominican food yet. Like,
you ain't giving up Dominican food yet?
Well, my aunt lives in Smyrna, Georgia, and I've been telling her, because this is the part where go team, she looked at my story and she's like, you cannot be eating no plantains in her Jamaican accent because she's Jamaican. And I'm like, no, those are tostones, and we are definitely going to be eating those. She's like, not on this cleanse, not before we premiere. I said, you know what,
we got to keep it right and tight.
Okay.
I said, we'll have all that after.
No
ackee, no jerk chicken, not yet. Curry chicken.
2 weeks
my
after
mom,
we're on air.
Yeah, my mom is the best Jamaican cook ever, and she's going to be in Atlanta. So I told Jules, after we're done, good food.
There you go.
Good food.
What were your thoughts on the whole colorism issue that was happening on Basketball Wives? Did you guys pay attention to that?
Oh, man.
Oh,
First
yes,
of
I
all,
saw that.
Afro-Latina, that term, and just, I consider myself an Afro-Latina. I mean, I'm Dominican. I grew up in Queens, New York. I have brothers that, introduced me to hip hop. I would not even know about the hip hop genre of music that existed if it wasn't for my 3 older brothers. So I don't know. I feel like that whole debate was just making my head spin. And I think when you do grow up in such a diverse city like New York, those kind of arguments and those conversations, they kind of blow my mind a little bit. I'm just like, what? What are we talking about here? Like, what do you identify with? A lot of it has to do with your upbringing. A lot of it has to do with your surroundings. A lot of it has to do with so many factors besides just your color of your skin. But it is a real thing.
Okay. Well, tell them about the show one more time, because they got to go.
You're not going to let Sanya talk about colorism? She's the dark-skinned one. Wow, Envy.
Tell me to rap.
Wow. You, boy, that light-skinned privilege.
Call out the light-skinned brother with the wig on, huh? You just going to do the
You want to with the wig on.
Wow.
DJ Envy was saving me. No,
a little Hampton shade, brother. It's all good.
But I think colorism is in the Caribbean a lot. So
Yeah, no.
People are bleaching their skin.
No,
Yeah.
definitely. No, I think it's a real issue. I just think it's how people identify. And, I think some people do identify as black even though their skin isn't black or they're mixed or whatever. So I feel like a lot of times it's the intention that the person used the words with, Like, I feel like if you guys are homies and you're Hispanic, I feel like it's different. Like, there's a different undertone, unfortunately, when white people use the word to black people. But I think minorities using the word, people who grow up with black culture, it's a little bit hard to say, oh, you can't use it then, and they use it at other times. So I didn't feel offended by it. I think sometimes they try to make arguments and make something happen, so we'll tune in and watch. But, I feel like I judge a person's intentions more than I do their words, because we all slip up and say things we don't mean. But it's like, what was your intention?
Look what happened with Gina Rodriguez.
Yeah.
That was hard to watch. Yeah. But I'm going to go the Eminem route. He's never used it.
Yes, he has.
He has?
There's audio of him using it, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when he was rapping.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, dang, that's news to me, because I definitely thought he always kept it clean.
It was before he got on, though.
Oh, okay. But still, and then maybe it took somebody to school him, and he realized, when I get on, that ain't a pass.
Yeah, and when he had a bigger platform, he realized he
probably was thinking he grew up around all black people, and that's who he associated with,
Yeah.
and so they're using it, he's using it, and then you learn, like, dude, not okay.
I tell you who don't use it. Gary Owen. Got a black wife and 2 black kids. I tell you, Gary Owen don't use it.
He used it up here.
I'd have slipped 3 times a day. I was married to a black woman with black.
No, actually, Gary Owen used it up here. We had to take it out.
Shut up. Don't
He
do
was
that.
talking about you, Will.
That might be
never
true.
put me in a movie.
Now I believe it. I'm like, what?
It's funny that you say that, Charlamagne, because in one of our franchise stories, when I say cancel culture, like, that footage of Eminem could resurface and we could cancel him right now to this day. Like, what is the time frame that we are canceling people from what they've done or said, and how far back do we have to go and, dig up a tweet or dig up that footage of Eminem using that word? You know what I mean? So, and I agree with Sanya, man. It's all about the intention. And you know when someone says a word with the wrong intention.
And the reaction afterward, how do you respond to it, too?
Exactly.
Because sometimes people get angry, and when you can just be like, look, I was wrong. And that's okay, too.
Yeah.
I love this conversation, man. This is why we made the show. Seriously. No, because you're getting the perspective. And some of this stuff we haven't talked about, so I'm hearing the perspectives of my host.
I see Shayla over there taking notes.
She definitely figured out what's going to be on the first week of the show. But that's why you bring diverse voices and give them a platform. You know what I mean? People that don't look like the folks in this room have controlled media forever. So every time there's a new show, and I know sometimes you can be out there like, it's another show with more content. Yo, that's a good thing, especially if it's content that is created and driven by us and gives us a platform. And that's what this is. This is another show that's going to be different than the other ones that are out there that is presenting a unique perspective. I'm proud to be a part of it, supporting these sisters are doing it.
Yeah, you guys gotta watch because these 5 weeks, numbers don't lie, and
So we gotta support.
That's what I'm supporting. We're pushing it.
I know Will got to go, but Will,
y'all send me some clips so I can make sure I use them on the Breakfast Club.
Appreciate
talk
you.
about what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
If a story breaks about will you address it?
Absolutely.
You're doing the Wendy
Again,
Williams
it's
movie,
all
right?
the intention on how
Yes.
you say things.
Yes.
Oh, Will's doing the Wendy Williams movie.
I am. Yes. Who you want to play you, Charlamagne?
I'm not
'Cause
in that
can't-
movie.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Ain't no way I was with her for 3 years.
You not in it? You not in the
I got
movie?
no reason
You
to
sure
be in the
about
movie.
that?
You not in the
talking
basement
to
somewhere?
the producer.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Right.
We got to get somebody very
if
small.
you were in it,
Oh my God.
who would you want to play you?
I mean,
Is
can you do the
Webster still around?
CGI? Listen,
I don't think so.
Can you do the
Emmanuel
CGI?
Lewis is dead, I believe.
Can you do the CGI on Mars Chestnut just to make him look a little bit younger?
I don't see you. That's not your energy. You don't have Morris Chestnut energy.
all.
I'm not even trying to hate. I'm just saying.
You put him at like 20 when he's like
No
CGI him
way.
at 20
Yo,
years
Who else is very tiny, very small?
I'm trying to think who can we
Who
get?
should play Charlamagne?
I can't think of nobody else other than Mars Chestnut. I'm sorry.
What?
Somebody get
Mine's
Kevin
drawing
Hunter
a
on the
blanket.
phone. See what he
Ray
thinks.
J. Ray J.
Who does he think?
Oh, Ray J.
Ray J. Ray J is gonna play
Nah.
Charlamagne in the movie.
No.
You don't approve that
Charlamagne
casting?
no, dog.
What do we
Beetle-
think?
Beetlejuice?
Did we feel that? Is that Charlamagne energy?
You said Beetlejuice?
Oh wow!
Oh my goodness.
I think Mars
we
Chestnut
appreciate
is
you
a
guys
good.
for joining us. It better not be no
Thank
damn
you.
Mars Chestnut.
Really good.
Charlamagne is my guy. You know, we got to stick together. Bald head, dark skin, short.
That's right.
We all we got.
Central
Right.
Ave
Thank you, family.
Premieres November 4th. Look for your local listing to find out. We're in New York. You said 7:30 p.m. Fox?
Yes,
Yeah.
Fox.
Yeah,
We'll
Fox.
be on
Your Fox
select Fox
stations.
stations.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you
Central Ave.
guys.
And you can
Thank
also
you.
watch online. We'll also be on YouTube at Central Ave TV.
Yo, real quick, and true story, Central Ave back in like the 50s,
Yeah.
that was the street where all the happening things in Hollywood happened. Black
wow.
and white, but it was in South Central. But black and white people used to go hang out, like all the hot clubs, movie theaters, all that was on this street called Central Ave. And of course,
case
got a
you guys
double
are
meaning because
wondering.
Central is the center of entertainment. So that's where the name comes from.
Dope.
I'm gonna get that in there.
Well, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.